Hello, everybody. Welcome to my women basketball rantings. So this is a place where I just have thoughts. I have a lot of thoughts on women's basketball, and this is a place where I come and tell you guys those thoughts. So welcome, and yeah, so let's get into it. So the happenings this week. So NCCA is there, WNBA is there. So let's start with WNBA. I'll do a separate video for NCAA because it's kind of like a different ball game. So it's kind of, the categories are different. So let's talk WNBA, then we go to NCCA. So check out my other video for NCCA content, including page breakers and the rankings of the week. So let's go to WNBA. As you can see from my screen, shit hit the fan yesterday in the WNBA fandom community gathering, Twitter family, whatever you want to call it. The news is that Brondello and Phoenix Mercury parted ways, head coach. So Brondello has been their coach since 2014. And like I always say, I started watching WNBA in 2020. So I don't really know much about her. All I know from her was that game where Subed went off, the Subed going off game. That was very crazy. She was the coach of that game. So I felt, so that was in 2018 where they had a chance to go to the finals. And they were actually winning that game, if not for Subed that scored 14 points in like 2 minutes or 3 minutes. It was really crazy. If you have not checked that video out, please go and find it online. I'll put the link below. Please check out that video. Crazy, crazy, crazy. As if that wasn't enough, Walt Hopkins parted ways with New York Liberty also at around the same time, something like 2 hours after the meeting. So it got people speculating that, is Sandy going to NY? I mean, it makes a lot of sense if Sandy's going to NY because she's experienced. She has obviously made it to the playoffs a couple of times. I mean, Phoenix Liberty, I always say they are running on vibes. Please check out my other video. I know they are running on vibes, but I mean, she did put some set of players together that could just work, like the big three, that's Skylar Diggins, Diana Taurasi, and Brittany Griner. And I honestly don't know why they haven't made it past the ump, because they actually have what it takes. And during that Chicago game, I felt that they could have easily made it at least that game 5. Sorry, not game 5, that game 4. I felt they could have won that game, if not because of 1 or 2 funny things that I did not understand. I think she could have called a timeout, but anyway, that's not what we're talking about. So what we're talking about is do you guys think Sandy Brondello is a good coach? I think she's a good coach, but I also think that it has become stale. Like the last time she won a championship was in 2014, which was her first year coaching. And the funny thing about coaches is that most times when a coach comes in, they always want to, they always win for some reason. Dan Hughes won his first year coaching. She's winning her first year coaching. So I'm thinking that maybe even Nikki from Atlanta, they made the playoffs her first year coaching. So, but after that, they haven't really done anything apart from Dan Hughes. Daniels is a guy after my heart, leave him alone. So apart from that, so I think Phoenix has become very, very stale. Their players are kind of getting stale. She made some funny decisions this offseason, getting those rookies like Kia Nurse, Megan Walker, they didn't really contribute. Or one could say they did contribute because, hey, they did make it to the finals. But it's just something really stale about the Phoenix Mercury. When it comes to the staleness, the thing I'm talking about is like their style of play, the way they do things on the court, the way they interact with each other. I just feel it has become really, really stale, and a lot of people have figured them out. And like I always say, Phoenix Mercury is a very, very funny team because sometimes they can just play in a very funny way. Like they can get blown out by 40, like the way they got blown out in the final, in the game, in game 3. After winning game 2 of the AO finals, the WNBA finals, they ended up getting blown out in game 3 and they scored only 49 points or 41, ridiculous score. So I really thought like in a finals game, that's definitely a coaching problem. Like, was it the mentality? Were they tired? Like, what was the issue? So that was the problem I had with Phoenix Mercury, but I have nothing against Sandy Brondello. She's obviously very successful. She works with the Opals in the Australia. I don't know if she'll still be their coach, but I think so. And she really has taken them to good places, even though this their Olympic training was probably one of the worst that they've done in a very long time. Like they didn't make it past. They made it to the first round only, and they got eliminated by the US, which they shouldn't have gotten into that sport. So I felt that this was their worst Olympics showing yet. But the Opals have always been a very, very good team. And they did win against the US in the friendly, so that was something. So she's not a bad coach. So I wouldn't mind her in New York Liberty, even though, like I said, I feel she's a bit stale, so she needs to shake things up, like her style of play. She's very, very dependent on Diana Taurasi too much. So I just feel she needs to check things up. And maybe New York would be the right place for her to be. So let's talk New York for a bit. Why did they fire Walt Hopkins? From my own thought, I thought he was doing well. I mean, coaches need time, apart from the coaches that just get a team and obviously take them to the promised land. But those teams are already like teams that people already know that these teams are teams that are way less than their potential. So a new coach comes and just makes them realize their potential. But New York wasn't that kind of team where they were like, oh, they were less than their potential. They were an up and coming team, up and up, and they've been showing some progressions. Apart from the 2020, which was probably one of the worst seasons I've ever seen from a professional league, 2021 was actually not bad. It was definitely a success. From being 2-22 to coming into being in the playoffs and losing by only one to the team that's Phoenix Mercury that eventually made it to the finals. I feel that it was not a bad season, and I really don't know why they fired their coach. Well, maybe they didn't fire their coach. Maybe it was a mutual thing, or maybe it's going to Phoenix. Who knows? Because yeah, I could see him in Phoenix. He could be one of the guys to shake things up and make that stale team interesting. Because the guy definitely has a modern style of play. They shoot a lot of threes. But the thing about threes is you live by the three, you die by the three. And he's very committed to living by the three and also dying by the three. So he needs to update his style of play a little, because you can't always keep benefiting from the perimeter. It doesn't work. Sometimes the center has to be very, very strong. You need the paint has to be protected at all costs. And I think Phoenix last year, New York Liberty had a little bit of issue with that. So apart from that, I don't feel he did a bad job. I feel he really made, Sabrina, she was up and down and up and down, but when she was there, she played well. He got some really, really good players, Nasha Award, Sammy Whitcomb, and I really feel that if you are giving him this season, I feel something will have really, really happened in that team. But maybe they just didn't like the direction it was going. Or it could also be internal politics, like maybe there were some players that didn't like him, maybe there's some complaints. So it could be that, and let's just say we parted ways. It doesn't necessarily always have to be performance. When even Sandy Brondello, I'm not saying that it's not performance. I'm just saying sometimes it's really not performance. It could be performance though, but when you call performance, like what does New York Liberty want? I thought they were trying to be a young team. If they're trying to be a young team, a young up and coming team like something like Dallas Wing, but Dallas Wing have not figured it out yet. I really thought New York Liberty had figured out the formula, and now it's just about consistency, and they will definitely make it. So I'm really, really surprised why they wanted to shake things up. Anyway, so that's it for the two coach change. I personally, I would like to see for Phoenix Mercury, I think I need someone. They need someone that is really, really experienced. I don't think they need like one of those really young people that just came out of nowhere. Sorry, not those assistant coaches that they're not really that good. I think they need a very, very experienced coach, like someone that has done it before. Maybe someone like I don't want to say Brian Angler, but Brian Angler really is actually a coach that coaches experienced players. He coached Seattle Storm, and he also coached Ellis Sparks, and those two went on to win championship that year. So maybe Brian Angler, but also let's like thinking out really, really out of the box. I don't really know much about the game, but I feel I've been hearing a lot of names, but honestly, I don't really know much about the coaching scene. But I'm hearing Teresa Edwards. I don't know much about her. I read Becky Hammond. I've even heard Adia Baines, but come on, the college game is too they pay too much. I don't know how much the WNBA coaches earn, but I know it's not that great. So yeah, I wouldn't leave college to come and coach WNBA. I just wouldn't. But I'm really excited. You'll probably go for a former player. They almost always do in these things like Atlanta Dream, Seattle Storm, and all. But then the thing about coaching is that do you want them to fail? You can't give them a team like Phoenix Mercury that has been really, really successful, and you give it to someone that is unproven and expect the person to turn the team around in a season. Like they won't. I'm sorry, they just won't. They need someone that is really, really experienced. But then the thing about experience is that you can get a bit stale. Like I think what happened to Sandy Brondello, like she couldn't evolve to the style of play that the W needed. And even though it was working, I don't think it was a long-term plan. And I think maybe they gave her this year, like if you don't win championship this year, you were going to go. And she tried, she really tried. She got there against all odds. Nobody thought Phoenix Mercury would make it to the finals, and they did. So, I mean, give her some credit. And maybe she's just tired. She could really, really just be tired. She has been coaching the Phoenix Mercury since 2014. That is a very long time. She's Australian. Maybe she wants to go home and relax with her family, coach the up house. I mean, there are so many things. So that's what I think. I really don't have any predictions, but I just want someone really, really, for the New York Liberty, I want someone that is young, fun, and for the Phoenix, I want someone that is really, really experienced to take this team where I feel they can be. So that's it for that. If you need any more news, Twitter is buzzing with takes and hot takes. I even had Subird in the picture at one point. Subird is not coaching. Get it out of all of you's head. Stop bringing her in coaching. She said she doesn't want to coach. I understand why she doesn't want to coach. Let her be. So, those are my thoughts. I'm going to be doing NCCA in my next video, so watch out for that. And have a good day. Thank you.